Pheonix Forgotten is a found footage film directed by Justin Barber. In this film, tells the story of a sister who is making a documentary about her brother who went missing 20 years ago in wake of the Phoenix Lights epidemic. I think some of my longtime subscribers know how I feel about found footage films. Typically, I hate them. Me being a diehard fan of horror films, I feel like they tarnish what these movies are actually supposed to be. I feel like they're mostly just cheap cash grabs that just try to get a cheap jump scare out of you. And thankfully, one of the best things that I can actually say about Pheonix Forgotten is there's not one jump scare in this entire movie, which was incredibly refreshing from a found footage film. Now, with movies like The Blair Witch Project, and when that film first came out, everyone thought that that was a real life thing that actually happened. Since then, people have wised up and have realized that a lot of these found footage films are actually, all of these found footage films are not real. And excluding maybe the last 15 to 20 minutes of this film, I would say that this is probably one of the most realistic found footage movies that I've ever seen. If you would have taken off the last 20 minutes of this film and just showed this to me and said that this was a documentary about a real life sister looking for her real life brother who went missing after the Phoenix Lights, I would have believed you. Because like I said, there's no jump scares, there's not these things that's tipping its hand and making it seem fake or Hollywoodized. Now again, if you would have showed this film to me and said this is a real documentary, I would have believed you, and I actually probably would have been very interested in this film. However, when you release trailers that market this movie as a horror film about alien abduction, and the trailers preceding this film are also other horror movies, I'm going to go into your film expecting a horror movie, not a documentary. So when I was watching this 80-minute long film and there's not one scare throughout 97% of this movie, I tend to get a little bored. As I said, this movie's 80 minutes long and nothing horrific or scary happens in like 70 minutes of it. And I'm not saying that this movie wasn't scary like they tried to scare you and failed. I'm saying they just straight up don't try to scare you. Like imagine watching a comedy and a movie that's marketed as a comedy and you go to watch it and there's not a single joke. This movie proved very tedious to try to sit there and watch it trying to trick yourself into believing that it was nonfiction when you have seen the trailers and you see all the crazy stuff that was supposed to be happening. But what's frustrating is you're with this sister the majority of the movie who is making this documentary, and the entire film is her interviewing people and asking them, so what do you remember about my brother? What do you remember about your daughter? And asking people that work at the sheriff department, like, hey, what was your search like? It's just boring. If this movie would have been strictly about a kid obsessed with aliens who goes out with his friends and looks for aliens, I may have been more intrigued. But in an 80-minute movie, when you have at least 45 minutes of it dedicated to this sister who I couldn't give a crap about, it gets a little tedious. Overall, Pheonix Forgotten was a relatively well-made, well-acted, and well-directed horror film? Or if you would have taken out the last 20 minutes of this movie and had it be an actual non-fiction film, I probably would have been very intrigued. But when you present this movie as a horror movie and you don't have any actual horror in the movie, that's a problem. So did you guys see Pheonix Forgotten? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video. And if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to our channel for more movie reviews and movie-related things. And guys, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.